Employers do have a lot of issues with some of their employees due to alcohol and substance abuse. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my Questing for Success channel. My name is Ann Nambiro. Our topic today is on absenteeism at the workplace due to alcohol and substance misuse. If we talk to them, we can save millions by listening. Ladies and gentlemen, very many employees at the workplace do have disciplinary issues, and some are caused because of abuse of substances, misuse of alcohol. One takes too many and as a result gets a hangover, cannot report on duty, and many other issues lead to absenteeism. We are going to see why employees are always absent. One of the reasons why employees do not turn up as scheduled in the workplace is because they are abusing alcohol and they are abusing substances. Now, if you abuse the two, you wake up with a hangover. You do not know you are supposed to wake up in time and drive to the workplace, or if you are working virtually, start working in good time. Then the business loses. Products come up with a lot of mistakes, and as a result, efficiency and efficacy is affected. You are not effective. So as a result, the employer loses. Another cause of absenteeism due to alcohol and substance abuse is withdrawal symptoms. When you are abusing alcohol or substances, you do suffer from withdrawal symptoms, and as a result, you end up making the employer suffer, and the employer does not know what to do in terms of handling you effectively, because there is sometimes the relapse. We also have demotivation at the workplace, probably due to working conditions, and you are in the state where you cannot cope. Once you feel demotivated, sometimes absenteeism does come in. You also end up with health issues. Now, generally, for sure, when you are unwell, the doctor may give you some off. But remember, some off is self-inflicted because of having taken too much. You lose your emotions, you do not know yourself, you end up not reporting on duty. The employer is first to reschedule the work, to reschedule the work calendar. Yet you are still an employee. It becomes a challenge. Another cause of absenteeism is family demands. At the workplace, some employees have very old parents. When your parent wants you to assist, to take care of him, the health or her, the health has deteriorated, then you may end up getting some off days, and sometimes it leads to absenteeism because of emergencies. They occur at any time. They'll not wait to occur when you are on leave or when you are having your weekend. They occur when you are on duty and you're supposed to be on duty at certain hours, but you delay in hospitals due to certain tests or procedures being undertaken. That's the reason some employees do not turn up. Also, family demands like childcare. It's not only taking care of the elderly. Childcare is also an issue. Your child may have conceived and left for you another child to take care of, or the situation is such that you do not have enough income to engage a house help, yet you are a father or mother. You make terms of taking care of the children. Daycare may be affordable, but not all. It becomes an issue, and you end up sometimes not being at the workplace in time. We also do have harassment. Harassment from the seniors can occur. It could be physical, it could be emotional harassment. We're talking about harassment, and then you tend to shy from reporting because that is your senior. You suffer quietly, and one of the results becomes absenteeism. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have issues of where juniors get incited by seniors because the senior may be having issues with you and incites your junior officers against you. When such an occurrence is in a place, you end up not working very, very well absenteeism is something you resort to, not being able to report at the workplace in time. We also have issues to do with stress. Because you are on alcohol, you are on substance misuse, you end up with certain conditions. One of them is stress, advanced stress, depression, and you end up with anxiety. As a result, you are not able to cope with the workload. Absenteeism sets in. So those are some of the causes of absenteeism. Now, if you cannot cope with the alcohol abuse, substance abuse, hangover, the withdrawal symptoms, working conditions, you end up being an impediment to yourself and to the employer. The career path does not meet expectations. That can result to absenteeism. What do I mean? You know, we have high flyers. You've just left the university, you have established your career, you see it's progressing, but you want it to progress not gradually, but the high flyer type of progression. Any plateau in your career makes you think of changing the employer. We have such people at the workplace, and when you have others who are elderly, but they have long serving years with the employer, they have experience, then they may not have adjusted to the changing technology. You'll get that the high flyer wants to surpass them, and if you cannot give another job, they look for where else to go to. So those are some of the reasons why people end up with different days at the workplace. And you remember, absenteeism has an effect. It has an effect on the employer. You will start having poor working relationships with the employer, and once the relationship is strained, then fellow employees, you are not a team. You look at fellow employees with a lot of scorn. You look at them as not wanting you. Remember, the stigma sets in. So as a result, you disrupt the work schedules with your absenteeism. The work calendar gets affected because of your absenteeism. You are still on the payroll. Somebody else sometimes is forced to do your work, sometimes is forced to reschedule the leave or the work hours, simply because you are not able to be on duty at a certain time. That is what we are saying leads to the employer suffering. Now, remember, when the employer has to adjust to the calendar because of you, even if it's a training calendar, you are scheduled to train as a team, but because of your condition, you are absent. Then they schedule that training. They reschedule that work. A certain task was to be undertaken by the team. You are part of the team, but you are ever absent because of the alcohol and substance misuse, amongst other causes. Then they end up rescheduling. That is not going to augur so well. Operations get compromised. They get compromised because you are away. You are away, but you are scheduled to be on duty. Remember, you have some expertise. That's why part of the task, you are the part of the team. Now, if your task is undertaken by another person, how do you expect the work to be accomplished effectively and efficiently? Time is of essence. You are the one making that operation not to be undertaken in good time. So we end up with reduced productivity. Malpractices will set in. Some of the goods are rejected by the client. Some of the services are rejected by the client, who is at a loss. Initially the employer, but it will trickle to the employee. As we continue watching, we shall see. There's loss of income. Loss of income to both the employer and the employee. The employer does not get the revenue expected. The employee, if in your performance targets, performance indicators were set, you cannot meet those performance indicators because you are perpetually absent. Sometimes it's a question of abscondment, sometimes it's a question of desertion. The employer will have to exercise the rules and regulations in place to tackle your issue. So the disciplinary issues will set in. You miss out on opportunities for training training on the job or training of job, simply because you are not in a state to be trained. We have different types of training, and some of the trainings require systems to be understood in a group form. Now, when you are absent, you either delay the training or they train others minus you, yet you are part of the team. You will not be able to cope. Systems ever change. Technology is changing. So you end up being an impediment. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have stagnation in career. When your career stagnates and it becomes like a table, what we call a plateau career, then you are already a demotivated person. You've been in service 6 years in one job, and another one who has only served the same organization 2 years was your junior, is scheduled for promotion and is bypassing you. Definitely the demotivation will be so much on you. Then team dynamics. People work as a team, and we expect, for example, the producers to feed into those in the store and the marketers to continue their work until we reach the customer. Now, if you are not part of that team, then you affect the entire cycle. When the people are supposed to be monitoring progress, they are actually looking at performance being not wanting because of your absenteeism. So it is poor. You are the cause of that poor performance. That is what we are saying, that we need to work as a team, and to work as a team, we must be present at the workplace as scheduled. Ladies and gentlemen, when disciplinary issues set in, sometimes we talk of evidence. And when an employee goes to testify against a fellow employee, it is wanting. Relationships tend to differ, they deteriorate, and as a result, you end up having no team. Once you're not a team, then you don't feel like you are part of the organization. You start feeling you are isolated. And that isolation is not very healthy for all of us. We end up with the employer looking at the causes of absenteeism. What is the root cause? They start analyzing, is it the policies, is it the working conditions? Is it the ergonomics, the type of work you do, and in a certain physical situation? So they'll weigh options. They may resort to counseling. The employer management may give you paid off as a way of helping you come back into your senses, your serene type of self. You end up having the employer reinforce awareness on human resource policies and procedures. This is the action that will be taken if you are absent. So you get to understand good revision of already the handbook or the manual on human resource policies and procedures at the workplace. Whether you work virtually or you work physically by going to the office, we are saying you are in employment and you are perpetually failing to be at the employment place as scheduled. Even if it's online, it has to be as scheduled. You have to be there. That's what we are looking at. The same employer may look at various approaches of tackling the issue of absenteeism at the workplace. So those approaches, when they're looked at, then they see the combination that best suits you instead of just resorting to termination. Now, what actions can you take as an individual? You, the person abusing alcohol and substances and many other reasons that make you to be away from duty as scheduled, you may end up doing self-reflection. What really makes me to be absent? If you find this alcohol, you may reduce, and that will help you are being at the workplace at the right time. You try to forge ways of moving forward with the kind of work that you intend to do. Your task, your key performance indicators. When it comes to performance appraisal, you'll be able to participate. If it is work circles, because we have different methods of appraisal, then you'll be able to participate. If it's the 360-degree feedback, you'll be able to participate. You'll undertake counseling and get to own the solution to your problem. Remember, the problem we are talking about is absenteeism at the workplace. What are the causes? Some are due to alcohol abuse, substance abuse, amongst others. So you will reflect, weigh options, and see how do I move forward and be present at the workplace? It's not always negative and negative. Ladies and gentlemen, if you listen, you'll save millions. If you are present at the workplace, millions will be saved because the performance will be very good. No disciplinary issue. You'll work as a team and revenue will come in. You'll end up even getting promoted, getting trained on time. And as a result, the expectations, if after an appraisal period you expected to be rewarded, those rewards may come. Not just the reward, but even plus the bonus. Thank you very much. I ask you to subscribe to my channel, and if you have already done so, please feel free to share this particular video with others. Comment. Thank you very much.